What's up, 88? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in Sunday Live, 88 Fitness Live, 12 Eastern every Sunday. It's been a very long day, y'all. Today we're talking about fat loss supplements, the best fat loss supplements you can take, why you take them, when to take them, etc. But first, we got some
updates. Before we get into updates, y'all, just want to make sure everyone knows who we are. My name's Camille. This is James. You're watching the 88 Fitness Training YouTube channel. So this is your one-stop shop for all things fitness related, especially when it comes to making those gains, true hypertrophy. So our channel is geared towards anyone that's looking to build muscle mass, stay lean, be in the best shape of your life. So we give you everything from training tips to nutrition, as today's topic is fat loss supplements, for instance. So thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate each and every one of you. And like James said, we are live every Sunday at 12 Eastern. But first, updates. So what updates do we have for everyone today, James?
Kylie, what's up? Yeah. Updates. So for me, I had to pause the bulk.
What?
Number one, we went on vacation. We were in West Virginia all weekend. We drove back this morning. Like I said, it's been a very long day. It's a 5.5 hour drive. Luckily, we beat the traffic though. So boom. All right. So I have opportunity. So I don't know what I'm weighing because we didn't have a scale at West Virginia, but I got an opportunity to come up. So I'm going to pause the bulk for a week, and we're going to take videos, photo shooting videos on the weekend, next weekend. And then if it pans out or doesn't pan out, I'll let you guys know what it was.
Awesome. And happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. Hopefully everyone had a great opportunity to spend time with friends and family. I know we spent most of Thanksgiving with your mom and dad and siblings, so that was a great time. And then, like James said, we headed to West Virginia to our place in the mountains. So got to see kind of how that's shaping up for ski season. So pretty exciting.
We had to get the place ready for ski season.
In fact, there was like no snow in the forecast, which James and I should have known better because, it's in the mountains of West Virginia. There's going to be snow if it's a certain temp. So
don't ever go to West Virginia without boots.
Yeah. Hence, there was no long walks, no trail walking. We couldn't even go look at the slopes to see how they're doing on the snow production because James had nothing but tennis shoes.
Big mistake. If Mr. Wintertime is on, we finally got our snow, brother. No skiing this weekend, but we got our snow.
It was fun, though. We did have to run a bunch of errands, and we actually ended up working out at this really old YMCA. Yeah. It was about an hour and 3 minutes from where our condo is at the ski resort.
Very resembled a dungeon or a jail, if you will.
One with lots of mazes in there. It's like a government-owned building, lots of twists and turns. But some of the equipment was really fun. You had a lot of that old school Nautilus. And when I say old school, I mean old school. It's like that chain-driven.
Chain-driven. Before the belt, before the cable. We had chains.
But yeah, we still had a really great workout. It was a lot of fun. A lot of unique equipment too. There's a back machine. I think I'll post a short coming up next weekend. You guys can check that out. But pretty cool.
Beauty and Decay. Hello. Season kickoff 12/12.
There you go. That's right around the corner. I know James and I are going skiing for Christmas, y'all. So we're pretty excited. Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, he already got his Christmas gift. Do you want to tell them what you got?
You can tell them.
Santa brought James a used Smith machine for Christmas.
Yeah. The 88 Gym's getting an upgrade, baby.
I cannot wait to use that Smith machine, even though it's James' present, but we're pretty excited about that.
I'll share.
That's good. All right. Well,
we got to put it together. I'm not very excited about that, but I am excited to have a Smith machine.
It's at least in 4 pieces, so it's not going to be too terrible. Yeah. Killington, very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We were just a snowshoe. We're going to go skiing at Beach Mountain over Christmas. So, my brother and I went to Killington.
It was a couple years ago, I think.
2 years ago.
That was some serious skiing.
Yeah, great skiing. If you want some good skiing, it's hard to beat Killington.
I'm more of I'm going to stay on nice, groomed, easy courses. That's more my MO, just because, I'm pretty novice when it comes to skiing. But all right. So the purpose of today's video is to talk about what are the best fat shredding supplements out there. So if fat loss is your goal, you're trying to like maintain that lean muscle mass. Today, we're going to get into what are the best supplements that can help optimize and support your goals.
There's quite a few of them out there.
So we'll get all into which ones they are, their benefits, how do you use them effectively, and hopefully after watching this video, it'll help educate you and empower you to use those appropriately to maintain your goals or support your goals, whatever that may be. But supplements do play an important role, but I want to caveat this discussion by anything we're going to talk about or nothing we're going to talk about today is a magic pill. Nothing beats, discipline, hard work, consistent workouts, good nutrition. These things might give you a little boost or optimize things a little better, but they are no way a magic pill where, hey, I can take this supplement and eat like crap and not work out and lose a bunch of fat. So
it ain't gonna work. And I'm gonna let you know if it's worth your money or not. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So in terms of fat loss, we're going to break them down into different categories. I want to start by talking about Thermogens. So this is a really popular fat loss supplement that's
probably
out there.
Most popular is your Thermogenesis, yeah.
But yeah, your Thermogenics are a type of supplement that are designed to increase your body's metabolic rate. So basically, you're burning more calories as you're going about whatever activity you're doing, whether that's cardio, lifting, whatever.
It raises your core temperature.
So yep, it manipulates the production of heat in your body. So by kind of dialing the knob on that process, you're able to burn more calories, which helps to support weight loss.
It's not unusual to take Thermogenesis and start sweating. I mean, I know all about that. I can just sit there and start sweating. I'm like, what is going on? It's cold outside. Why am I sweating?
Right.
It's that Thermogenesis you just took.
Yeah, a lot of times the most common supplement you're going to find for that thermogenic effect is going to be some type of caffeine. And usually there's some type of green tea extract in there, both of which are really effective at raising that metabolic rate as you are going about trying to lose fat.
Yeah, when it comes to fat burners, you're going to see caffeine and green tea flavonoids all the time. They're going to be the two main ingredients. I mean, they work the best. That's why they're going to be the two main ingredients you see over and over and over and over. And almost every single one of them has them.
Yeah, and what I love about them, they're pretty cheap, actually. Yeah. So there's a particular type of caffeine pill that James and I like. It's by this Piping Rock company. It's 100% caffeine with green tea extract. So you have about 200 milligrams of caffeine, but it has 20 milligrams of green tea extract in it as well. So it has both of those compounds we were just talking about to help support the fat loss and the thermogenesis.
Right. And if you're wondering, a cup of coffee is about 200 milligrams of caffeine. So it's the same as taking one of those pills.
Right. And so, yeah, these are pretty mild. It's going to give you that little punch if you're going to go out and do some cardio or get your day started. In fact, even if I'm not working out, I'll usually start my day by just having one of these. It helps wake me up, bring me to life, get everything kind of flowing and moving. Even our daughter likes these too. And I think they're pretty easy on the stomach. Most people don't get too upset as long as you're not taking too many of them.
These are fantastic. I don't take them regularly, but if I need a boost, I will take these. There's no crash. They're, in my opinion, one of the most gentle and easy and great to use.
Yeah, in fact, they're usually only about $7-8 a bottle for 100 capsules. So it's pretty economic too. You can't beat that. Pretty simple. But what I like about these in particular is that it also has that green tea. I think that's the fat burner little boost.
That's why it would be better than a cup of coffee. You just say, why don't I just drink a cup of coffee? Well, you're missing out on the fat burning flavonoids if you just drink coffee. And then you got to drink it black. Because if you put creamer and sugar in it, you just added calories and fat to your fat burner.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that. But yeah, there's lots of benefits to Thermogenics. Like one, you're going to increase your metabolism. So who doesn't want that? If we're talking about fat loss, the faster our metabolism's running, the more we're going to be able to burn off those calories and things throughout our day. So that's awesome. Even when you're at rest, I'll say, so you don't even have to take this and go work out. Like you could just start your day.
I will start sweating.
He does. It helps to enhance fat burning properties too, because we said your producing that extra heat. So that's going to help break down fat storage that you might have. Also, hey, just going to aid with overall weight loss. There's a little bit of appetite suppression. I don't know, if you've experienced this too, but I might be hungry, and the moment I pop a caffeine pill, I'm no longer hungry anymore.
It will suppress it for a couple hours. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got another comment from Patrick Starr. Man, I miss ephedrine. Boy, so do I.
People do, Patrick, but a lot of people abused it, unfortunately, and kind of, it had to go away. But
it's still in Sudafed, Patrick. I'm just saying, it's still in Sudafed.
Yeah. Well, in any case, let's not even.
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're not going to even talk about that today.
It's a bad substance. We're not going to talk about it. So, but I miss it as well, Patrick. Believe me.
So yeah, in terms of possible side effects, James already said, you might start sweating if you're taking some type of Thermogen. Like, it's definitely, your heart's beating faster, your blood pressure could increase.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, if you're naturally a very anxious or nervous person and you pop a couple caffeine pills, you're going to be really jittery. So I caution you, if you're naturally very anxious, it might make you more anxious. And I definitely would not take anything like that before bed. So that does make it tricky depending on when you're working out and your sensitivity.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I took one of those caffeine pills after 12 noon, I'm pretty much not sleeping.
That's when I cut caffeine is at lunch. I don't take any caffeine after lunch.
Yeah, and then some people will have digestive issues depending on how many milligrams of caffeine you take. You might be headed to the bathroom before you work out.
It is a normal side effect. Drink a cup of coffee. I mean, everybody goes to the bathroom if they have coffee, right? So it's caffeine. So whenever you're taking caffeine, whether it's pre-workout, whether it's coffee, whether it's a caffeine pill, it's going to get things moving.
Right. And some people might end up with a headache or something, but most of the time, if you have a headache and you take the caffeine, it's going to help. So kind of like the inverse, but if you're sensitive to headaches, that could happen depending on how much of that you took. Everyone's slightly different. Like, for me, sometimes this 200 milligrams is enough. Other times, like, I'm probably taking a pill and a half if I'm trying to work out using it or something like that. But just every day, get up and go. About a pill of this, 200 milligrams, is plenty.
So we took this to Vegas. We went to Vegas a couple weeks ago.
That was like months ago.
A couple months ago. And I would do, pop them about one every 3 hours. And I was good to go. And I could sleep.
Right.
So, again, that's a very good, gentle caffeine pill.
All right. Now, if you're looking for something maybe a little more aggressive, and we are talking about, like, hey, I want to shred fat and I'm going to go do cardio or something to shred that fat, then you might want to look into some thermogenic types of pre-workouts. One of our favorites is this Evil Engine Shred by EVL. And this stuff gets you up and you are definitely going. I don't care if it's cold. Like, our basement is so cold where time you finish working out with that. So
it's already got the caffeine, crazy caffeine, and it's got the fat burners and whatnot in it.
It's got a lot of stuff in there, y'all. I mean, we'll go through more of this later as we break down different things. But in addition to, like, your normal vitamins that you would expect to find in pre-workout, it definitely has almost like a focus agent in there. So you've got there's a lot of different things it has in here. But beta alanine's in there, L-carnitine, yohimbe. And then again, it has the natural caffeine from coffee bean green tea extract. See, we're talking about that again. So yeah, this is a pretty aggressive one in terms of caffeine. Trying to see if it actually tells you how much caffeine is in it.
Take your time. I can't read the label, y'all. God bless Camille, because she can still read that little tiny writing. I cannot. If I'm doing that, I got to take a picture of it and blow it up so I can read the label.
Yeah, it's got about 260 milligrams per scoop in this. So it's definitely got a bigger punch than your pipe and rock, just simple caffeine pill. And I can definitely tell a difference. This one is definitely more aggressive. But the one thing James always tells me, like, if I'm going to do cardio, he's like, hey, did you prime the pump? Like, if our goal is to burn fat, why would you not take something to optimize your ability to burn fat?
Any old mechanics out there knows what prime the pump means. If you run out of gas and you had an old carburetor, you poured a little bit of gas in the carburetor to get it going. That's priming the pump. That's getting you going.
All right. Native Grit said, I found out what works for me is just putting the fork down. I love food. You know what, Native Grit, when it comes at the end of the day, yes, absolutely.
100%.
I don't care
100%.
how much priming of the pump you're going to take. If you want to lose fat, you got to put the fork down. You are 100% correct.
Yep. And I'm going to emphasize that with a story. There was 3 guys that went to Gold's Gym. They were big dudes. They were big, muscular dudes, but none of them were ever ripped. They were husky built. And I would, hey, guys, why don't you compete? Why don't you compete? Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go home and eat a dozen hot dogs. What? Did you just say you're going to eat a dozen hot dogs? Oh, yeah. I'll just take some ephedrine and it'll burn it off. Don't worry about it. Patrick Starr, remember the ephedrine? This was back when
Why hot dogs, though?
They were 3 single guys in their late 20s. Probably lazy. Yeah, lazy and cheap. But I watched them over the span of 10 years, and they got fatter over 10 years. Not one of them got leaner over the 10 years. They didn't put
that fork down, so they're...
So to your point, Native Grit, I don't care what you're taking. You can't, if you eat crap, you're going to look like crap.
Yeah. Well, it's a good segue, actually. So the next kind of category of fat burning supplements would be some type of appetite suppressants. A lot of different supplements advertised for fat loss also have some type of appetite suppressant. And really how these work are they're just kind of influencing your brain signals to make you feel a little fuller. They kind of help with that satiety. So yeah, they're kind of regulating those neurotransmitters that are saying, hey, Camille, you're hungry. You're hungry. You're hungry.
And that's different than the thermogenesis. So what are they? What are some of them?
A big popular one, I would say this was maybe like as much as 10 years ago, was that Garcinia Cambogia. People were just like going nuts about this, and they were just buying it. It's a simple supplement. You can still buy that. And they would talk about how that would kind of curb those cravings.
So they're going for the neurotransmitters. They're trying to go into your brain to shut your brain off to say you're not hungry. Right?
Yeah.
And it was selling like crazy. If it's not selling like crazy, that should tell you something.
I mean, it definitely still sells as crazy, but I don't think it's effective. I think that's a placebo. I think, you're just well off going and having a big glass of water. Or I think last week we were even talking about just having a glass of BCAAs or EAAs and how that kind of curbed the hunger, which James has right there because it is our lunchtime. He's probably pretty hungry. But I mean, I guess it could be depending on how you are, even if it's a placebo, I guess, like if that's what it takes to curb your appetite and make you feel fuller, or hey, if that works for you, great. You could take stuff like that. It's pretty cheap to buy.
Remember when I said I was going to tell y'all to save your money?
That's one of them.
Save your money. Listen, if this stuff worked, everybody on the planet would be taking it and would be ripped, right? If we could take a neuro blocker and say, I'm not hungry, I'm going to get ripped, everybody would be walking around with a 6-pack. So go ahead and save your money on that one.
Now, I think there are probably some prescription grade things that you can take that will definitely mess with those neurotransmitters for making you feel full. But that's not what we're here talking about today. We're talking about over the counter. I can order it off of Amazon or go up to the drugstore and get it kind of supplements.
But you just confirmed what I said. Opsemic works.
Right.
That's why everybody right now is on Opsemic. I bet you everybody watching right now knows at least one person taking it. It's because it works.
It works a little too well.
And when it works, everybody will take it because it works.
Right.
And I agree. It might work even too good because there's some zombie, skinny, losing muscle, skinny people walking around the gym that need to eat.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, if you're watching this channel, you're all about making that muscle, and so we definitely don't want to lose so much fat that we start wasting muscle. So just keep that in mind too.
And there's a side effect to every drug, every prescription drug out there. So keep that in mind too. That script is probably going to lead to another script, which will probably lead to another script. So, like Native Grit said, put the fork down. You can do it. Just put the fork down.
Right. So our next category of supplements would be the ones geared towards fat loss and maybe fat blockers specifically, which are always really fascinating to me because like a fat blocker is basically a substance that's going to prevent the absorption of dietary fat in the body. And so it really works by inhibiting like a certain enzyme that's responsible for breaking down fat in the digestive system. And so to James's point, like if that was really effective, people would be taking that every day, all day long.
Especially if you can buy it at Walmart.
I mean, I would have been taking that on Thanksgiving. And I'd be like, give me the whole plate of mac and cheese, you know?
Me too. Again, if this stuff worked, it'd be huge. You know, it'd be out there. Everyone would be taking it. What are some of the names of that?
Chitosan and Orlistat, which I think you could get over the counter. They even have it in prescription grade too. I mean, maybe that can help. So if you're looking to lower your cholesterol, that might be something a doctor could recommend for you. But in terms of, hey, I just want to shred body fat so I have this nice lean physique, I don't think that that's really necessary. I think, you know, you're probably going to have some weird side effects from that, like very oily stools and like, you know, you're going to be farting quite a bit. So I don't think that's worth it. You know, as bodybuilders, it's already bad enough.
Once again, save your money. If this stuff worked, everybody would be taking it. You know, and I've heard of a couple of them. I may even tried a couple of them 20 years ago, but they don't do anything.
We pretty much, between the two of us, have tried everything because, I mean, who doesn't want that, you know, special supplement that's just going to like, you know.
If it was out there, it would be so easy.
Right. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, what are some of those supplements or fad supplements that you've tried throughout the years? How did it work for you? What did you find?
Hot Stuff. Anybody remember Hot Stuff?
Ooh, when is that even from?
Baby, the 90s.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I bought it when I first got to my unit. I took a scoop, drank it, and I didn't sleep the entire night and went to PT the next morning with no sleep.
Oh, no. Angel's got a question. Are there any foods you can eat to make you feel fuller longer when you're trying to lose weight? Yes, Angel.
Good question. Good question.
A really good one, I would say, would just be your whey protein for one.
Protein in general. Satisfies you, makes you feel full. It's supposed to.
Right.
Satisfy you, make you feel full. It also has a thermogenic effect when you eat protein.
Yeah. So that would be way better than eating a bunch of carbs in comparison. Another thing I like to do, Angel, especially when I'm trying to lose fat, is I'll eat giant bowls of salad. It's high in fiber and other things, so it kind of expands your stomach. You feel full, but calorically, you didn't eat a whole lot. So a lot of options. That's a great question, though. Good
question. These are competitor tricks when you get down to pre-contest and you're really hungry, but you can't eat calories. Jell-O. Jell-O has 0 calories. Pickles, dill pickles have 0 calories. There are some other things. Cabbage, very low in calories. You can eat a big bowl and feel full with very little calories. Celery, I mean, there's a couple more foods out there. But
right. And Patrick Starr said, not a supplement, but water helps so much. And you're right, Patrick.
100%, Patrick. 100%.
Always encourage my clients, like, hey, before you sit down to eat your meal, go ahead and drink a full glass of water.
A full 8-ounce glass of water before you eat. It will make you feel full a whole lot faster.
Yeah, even if you're just between meals and you're just really hungry, like go ahead and have that big glass of water, and that should help kill that kind of craving there.
Great tip.
All right, a next category of supplements really is funny to me because they are carb blockers. Kind of similar to fat blockers. Carb blockers are known to block starchy kind of carbs. So they're inhibiting, again, the enzyme that digests those carbs for you and prevent them from being absorbed by the body. So a good example of this would be like a white kidney bean extract, for instance, is known to be a carb blocker. I don't put a lot of stock in this. I guess the reason I don't is because I'm not diabetic, so I'm not measuring my blood glucose levels when trying that. But I can say there was a product that I tried for a while. We both you and your sister used to sell Advocare. And so we would try, they had something called Carbies. So the idea is that you could have a really heavy carb meal and take this Carbies supplement a half hour before, and basically your body wouldn't break any of those carbs down into simple sugars. Okay, great, but I'm still eating like an entire pizza or entire cake or whatever. So like there's other, there's fat, there's other things going on just than glucose.
Correct. And on top of that, and I have tried carb blockers before. On top of that, I'm going to say it again. If it worked, everybody would be ripped.
Right.
Save your money. These came out late 90s, early 2000s, maybe even mid 2000s. They were hot for a minute because everybody wanted them to work. However, they faded very quickly because they didn't work.
I mean, I would be curious, though, on the reducing of the actual glucose. If we have anyone that does measure blood glucose levels and has tried a carb blocker, I'd be very curious to hear, does it actually help keep your glucose down? Because, I mean, that would be a great benefit to that, aside from fat loss, if you are diabetic. But yeah, in terms of, hey, I just want to be able to eat lots of carbs and, eat a big bowl of spaghetti and not get fat from it, just leave it alone. Like Native Grit said, put the fork down.
There is no magic pill. We got another question. Angel, thank you for the question. What's your favorite cooking oil to keep the fat down? Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question, Angel. So not that it's probably the best thing for you to use, but a lot of times we will just use cooking spray or spray butter instead of using extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil or any of your other oils.
Peanut oil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So a lot of times recipes will call for like a tablespoon or two of olive oil to fry up whatever you're frying. Again, we'll just spray a little bit of cooking spray or spray butter in the pan, and that's enough to get it not to stick and still fry it up.
And it's 0 calories.
Mm-hmm. So that definitely helps. I mean, you do have to keep in mind every time, I think you get like 5 sprays before it starts counting as calories. So just keep that in mind. But it's definitely a better option if you are trying to keep the fat down and not eat it.
Keep in mind also a lot of cooking oils have good fats in them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to shy away from your monosaturated or your polysaturated fats. And a lot of cooking oils have those fats in them. They're loaded with them, but they are the healthy fats. So keep that in mind as well.
Native Grit has a question for us. What is your favorite high protein, low fat meal?
That's a good one.
So I would probably say shrimp would fit the bill for that. But something weird happens to me, at least when I eat shrimp, like the sodium content makes me temporarily hold water every time. So I don't like eating that one, but it has definitely a high protein count for how many calories it is, meaning that the fat's also really low.
I'm going to have to go with chicken.
That's a good staple.
Any chicken, my favorite is probably grilled chicken, but any kind of chicken, baked, grilled, fried.
Hey, Big T, thanks for
joining. Big T, what's up, T? Yeah.
And I see we have a lot of people watching. So if you have any questions, even if they're not related to fat loss supplements, definitely fire away in the chat and we will get them answered for you guys.
These are good questions, by the way. A lot of good questions coming across.
So yeah, those are great. Let's go into next fat loss supplements in general. Like we already talked about the green tea extract quite a bit, but there's others. In addition to the caffeine, there's L-carnitine, for instance, is a great one that's in a lot of supplements, especially your pre-workouts.
So let's pause. This is fat loss as opposed to thermogenesis, right?
Right.
We talked about thermogenesis first, and so far that's the only one we said is worth it.
Right.
If you're paying attention.
Yeah. So if you're curious, there is a little bit of a difference between fat loss and thermogenic supplements. They are different. Though when you're looking at it, like they often overlap in their goals and the ingredients that are used. But your fat loss supplements are a broad category that's going to be any product really designed to help reduce your body fat. So these can work through different mechanisms. Sometimes it's appetite suppression, fat blocking, or metabolism boosting, whereas your thermogenic supplements, like we said, it's increasing your body's heat production, so your metabolism. So a little different mechanism. So just keep that in mind as we're talking about them. They're not quite the same, even though the end goal might be the same.
And they overlap. So they do overlap, but they're not the same. All right, we got a couple of comments here. Angel said I like air fryers and lean mean grilling machine. Me too, brother. Me too.
I love it when James actually grills. He was just out there grilling. It's literally like 25 degrees today, but it makes meal prep so easy because there's like next to nothing in terms of cleanup before, after.
It's fast.
Super fast, super easy, and you can meal prep a lot of food at one time. And air frying, yeah, I agree, Angel. Our daughter loves it. We actually have 2 air fryers. That way we can air fry en masse.
Chicken fingers, man. Air fried chicken fingers without any kind of breading that's fattening or carb loaded is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's
well.
a good one for sure. And Patrick Starr wants to know how your hamstring's doing.
Pretty good, Patrick. Pretty good. I still got the bruise there, but it's fading. I actually did squats last week with lightweight. I actually did leg curls with lightweight.
I can't believe you did the leg curls, y'all. I wouldn't have risked it.
We're rocking and rolling. We're getting back into it. I'm going to say probably 3 more weeks till I'm 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to push it a little bit on this leg day, see what happens. But I've been good. I went hiking on Thanksgiving morning. I trained legs. Obviously not a full 100% leg day, but we're getting there.
It's on the mountains.
Thanks for asking, Patrick. Appreciate that, brother.
And Michael says, I see people making protein ice cream online. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's fantastic, depending on what you put in it.
I mean, so yeah, Ninja came out with the Ninja Creamy, and the fitness industry went wild. I mean, even our own clients have Ninja Creamies, and they love having that sweet treat at night. And so I think if you are one of those people that really wants to have that sweet treat at night, like making protein ice cream is a great option. So, you're still going to have some carbs and things in it, but you're still at least getting a full serving of protein in there, which is good. That's going to help balance out that spike in the insulin from whatever sugar that might be in there.
Right. And I said it depends on what you put into it. I know people that just put protein powder into the ice, mix it up and drink it like a milkshake. That is wonderful. That's fantastic.
Right.
But if you're adding sugar, if you're adding cream, if you're adding all this other stuff, it's not good anymore. Right. So it depends on what you put into it. If it's straight protein and ice, it's fantastic. It's a protein shake, but it's ice cream, And our favorite protein is flavored vanilla ice cream.
I know. We might have to get a Ninja Creamy. See, Tina's got another question. She wants to know how long and what temp you air fry the chicken tenderloins. As long as they're kind of like a normal size and they're not like entire chicken breast or toxin in there, I would say
tenderloins.
Yeah, she did say tenderloins. I'd say probably 400 degrees, maybe 11 minutes or so. But you would definitely want to use a meat thermometer and check the center of it and make sure it's hitting the right temperature just for safety purposes. But yeah, anywhere from 4 to 425, 8 to 11 minutes should be plenty in the air fryer.
They are good. If it's not grilling, Camille usually takes care of it. I'll usually hang out with her in the kitchen while she's doing it, but she's doing it.
I really like making crock pot meals though. So I will toss like 8 chicken breasts in a crock pot and just come back, 4 hours later, shred that up, and then we make it different ways. We'll make chicken salad. We can use it for chicken fajitas. We can use it for whatever it may be. It's very versatile, and you can cook a lot of it.
It's 8 chicken breasts.
Yeah, so tons.
You make a chicken rice casserole.
For sure. All right, so I think we were talking about L-carnitine.
Yes.
So L-carnitine helps to transport the fatty acids in the body.
Let's back up. This is the fat loss supplements we're talking about now. We already said they got green tea extract and caffeine, which overlap with thermogenesis. Now, these are the ones that you won't typically see in the thermogenesis. These are fat loss. Right.
So that's going to be your L-carnitine. Again, the idea here is that we are trying to basically create more energy by breaking down fats. So that's what your L-carnitine is going to help you do. Dosage and timing wise, it depends if it's, you're taking it by itself or if it's in something. For instance, I don't think L-carnitine's in this fat burner in particular.
So from what I understand, L-carnitine.
Actually, it is.
Hey. Yeah. It makes your body prefer to burn fat as opposed to your glycogen stores.
Right.
For energy. So it switches your body's preference for fuel to burning fat as opposed to burning glycogen.
Yeah, so this one has about 500 milligrams of L-carnitine in it. That's a really good dose. Like I would not dose more than that in a day. Like I really wouldn't. So I wouldn't take an L-carnitine supplement on top of taking this Evil Engine shreds. Yeah. That would be too much for you. Another supplement that I think is pretty popular for fat loss is going to be CLA. It's a really long acronym. I probably can't pronounce it, but all you need to remember is that it helps reduce your body fat by increasing your fat burning and reducing your ability to store fats.
That's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. And usually about 3 to 6 grams. Let's see if this has CLA in it.
If you're not storing your body fat, what are you doing with it? You send it in the bathroom, right? Right.
That's right.
So instead of storing up body fat, the CLA will help you get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't see it in particular in this, but check your pre-workout because it might have it in your pre-workout. And then you have, when we were talking about this, I think it was with Michael or Angel, you know, you want to take protein. You want to eat lots of protein if fat loss is your goal. Like
the
you want to
affect the protein, yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter, but whey protein, casein protein, even plant-based proteins are going to all aid with fat loss. Yep. So all good sources there.
And if you're wondering, chicken has the highest thermal effect of any protein. So once again, chicken.
All right. So hopefully that makes sense. You know, most supplements are not going to be split up into categories such as fat loss, thermogens, appetite suppressant. You're usually going to find supplements that have all of that in it. So a great example is I have some supplements from First Form. I think they're a pretty good company in general. I know they do third-party testing on their supplements, which I like. But they make this one called Thermodrive. And Thermodrive is really great because it has fat loss stuff in it, thermogenic properties in it, as well as some appetite suppressant. So you're getting your L-carnitine, your green tea, even has raspberry ketones in it, which is really good for fat loss as well. So it helps break down those stored fats that you have to try to use them for energy. And then it definitely has some thermogenic supplements in there. One that you'll see written sometimes is ginger root. Yeah. Extract. That's one. Cayenne pepper. Yeah. So if you see things that have cayenne pepper or you use cayenne pepper in your food, that's going to be really good. It's going to help boost your metabolism and increase, calorie burning throughout the day.
Any hot spice is a thermogenesis, and most of them are 0 calories. So if you like spicy food, spice it up.
Hot sauce.
Spice it up. The cayenne pepper, the hot sauce, etc.
This even has black pepper extract in it.
Black pepper, yeah.
And that's what I like because those are all natural. They're natural things, like
natural ingredients.
Yep, they're natural ingredients. And then in terms of appetite suppressant, this even has something called like kelp powder, which is basically has iodine in it, and that helps support thyroid function. Yep. So naturally occurring in the body, but a really great supplement. Again, it's called Thermodrive. You can find it on their site.
And remember, I told you they overlap. So we got thermogenesis, fat burning, all
appetite suppressant.
It's all in that one.
Yeah, and they have another one. It's just called Goddess. It's basically a thyroid assistant, basically. It has some similar things like the green coffee bean extract. So basically caffeine. It has green tea extract, which we talked about extensively. And then it has other thermogenic properties like bitter orange extract.
Oh,
that's a different one. Yeah. So that one helps increase your metabolic rate and energy expenditures.
If you're old, you've heard of bitter orange because back in the 90s, bitter orange was big time. I haven't seen it since the 90s, but
it even has the black pepper extract again. So remember I said a lot of times thermogenic supplements and fat loss supplements have similar ingredients, although the mechanisms for which they're used or why they're used are slightly different. Yep. And so, this even has tooth club moss for your appetite suppressant. A lot of times that's more of like almost like a cognitive enhancement, gives you better focus during your workout kind of thing. Not really appetite suppressant, but hey, if it gets me focused on the weights and the cardio and not the fact that my stomach's like starving, I'll take it.
If you've ever dieted down, and I mean dieted down to where your belly button's kissing your spine, it's hard to focus. It is. You're hungry, you're tired, and it takes work to focus. You got to focus. You still have to work. You still have to live, and it's hard. It's tough. So to put a focus in there is brilliant, I think.
For sure. So yeah, those were two just by first form that I really like for you guys. You can look them up. Thermodrive and Goddess. So those were the two there. So yeah, like we talked a lot about different supplements, but kind of as we started in the beginning, you have to combine these supplements with a balanced diet as well as exercise.
Yeah, no supplements magic. You're not going to go and take a bunch of fat burners and lose weight when you're eating pizza and sitting on the couch. It just doesn't work that way, y'all. There's no cheating this. If there was cheating this, I'm going to say it again, everybody would be walking around with a six-pack.
Right. So kind of going back to where we started, if I'm getting ready to do cardio because I want to lose weight, I'm definitely priming the pump. I'm taking some kind of pre-workout that's got a thermogenic supplement in it. Like that is an absolute must. So if I were doing cardio and I was trying to choose between just pure caffeine pills, even though they have some green tea extract, or this Evil Engine Shred, I'm going to take the Evil Engine Shred.
All day.
Yeah.
Tina's got a question. Do you still drink the full gallon even if you're not cutting?
Yes.
I'm assuming you're talking about water. Yes.
Your muscles are 75% water, y'all, so you have to stay hydrated. And
I drink over a gallon every day, all day. Doesn't matter what we're doing. Doesn't matter where we're going. Well, so we drove 5 hours this morning. I didn't drink any water this morning, but as soon as we got home, guess what? I probably hammered a half a gallon.
But yeah, even though we're talking about fat loss, like as you break down fat and it wants to leave the body, you still need fluid to help excrete that out and get that fat, those fat cells out of the body.
It helps transport the fat cells out of the body. It helps transport waste products out of the body. Water is, every living thing that grows needs water. So you better get your water in. Just think about that for 1 second. Every living thing needs water to grow.
Definitely. But yeah, and so you want to make sure you're doing your strength training, like your resistance training. Like that's going to help as you build muscle and you build lean muscle mass, you're going to reduce your fat mass. It just naturally happens. A lot of clients that come to me and say, hey, I want to like firm and tone and like shred this post baby weight off, whatever it may be. I say, great, let's get you into the gym and start resistance training. Kind of step away from doing all that cardio you were doing. We're going to achieve your goal a lot faster by adding the resistance training with the cardio versus just doing cardio by itself.
A fun fact, and this is just me, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I weigh myself every day. I always lose more weight on weight training days than cardio days. 100% of the time, I lose more weight doing weight training than I do on cardio days. And
it's actually been quite fun. So James got me this Apple Watch for Christmas. We like suck at giving Christmas gifts because it's like December 1st and we both already have our gift. But so I've been having fun looking at like how many calories I'm burning an average heart rate versus the resistance training versus pure cardio days. And so it's just an interesting metric because I will burn significantly less calories doing resistance training, but lose more weight on those days, like he said, than just the cardio day.
No kidding. You lose more on weight training days?
I lose more on weight training days too, even though
your watch says it's less.
Right.
Wow, that is interesting. I'm going to have to look into that.
So yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're including supplements into your workouts. We talked about making sure that we're doing like the BCAAs and other things, like any of your pre-workouts. And protein after should have the BCAAs in there. Those are going to help with fat loss as well. So make sure you're getting that in.
Remember, caffeine is the #1 ingredient in all the fat burners, all the thermogenics. They're all going to be loaded with caffeine. Caffeine is also a performance enhancer.
Right.
So before you go to the gym, get your caffeine on. Just make sure, like I said earlier, you can do coffee if it's black.
Sure.
That is the oldest pre-workout in the book. It's black coffee.
Sure.
I remember guys coming and goes with a thermos, drinking a thermos of coffee. And I'm like, man, why don't you get some pre-workout? And they're like, what do you think this is, dude? He had a point.
Whatever works.
He had a point. But if you throw sugar and creamer in it, then now you just ruined it. So keep that in mind. But caffeine will definitely help you, give you a boost, get you going. If you're dragging, if you're tired, as soon as you take that pre-workout, that caffeine, that fat burner, whatever it is, you're going to get going. Patrick Starr, back in the day when Ron would take Rip Fuel, I remember I was in the Army and I was walking somewhere and I took a Rip Fuel probably 20 minutes earlier and I was like, I just feel like running. No reason whatsoever other than I was hyped up from that Rip Fuel I had took 20 minutes earlier.
That's funny.
So I ended up running to wherever I was going. I don't even remember it, but I could have walked. I just felt like running.
Yeah, the only thing with all of these supplements, especially the ones with caffeine, like over time, you start to build a resistance to these. Yeah. I know James and I have probably about 4 or 5 different pre-workouts in our cabinet, and we rotate through them. So if one stops being a little effective, we'll switch off of it for probably a month or so, and then we'll come back to it later. And then you want to be careful. Like, I know I have to have this talk with our daughter all the time that, hey, yeah, you took 1 caffeine pill, it doesn't really work anymore, so now you want 2, 3, but this can cause cardiovascular issues if you take too many.
Some GI issues too.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have GI issues and sweat. So that will derail your plans for your cardio. So just keep that in mind.
What are your thoughts on energy drink monsters?
I mean, that can work too, right? So I have clients sometimes that are doing pre-workout. They'll have a Monster or a Celsius and they'll come in with that. And you know what? It has usually like some type of green tea extract that has caffeine in it. It's got a lot of the vitamins, the B12, B6, lots of different vitamins in it. So I'm not opposed to that.
Here's my stance. As long as you're getting the sugar-free one. If you're getting the one with 80 grams of sugar in it,
no.
You just ruined everything. And that is 80 packets of sugar. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
A gram of sugar is 1 packet of sugar. And if you look at these sodas and these energy drinks that have the sugar, it's like, holy smokes. Well, no wonder you're getting diabetes, man. But energy drinks that have 0 sugar, I'm going to say go for it. It's just like black coffee. Go for it. If that's your thing, go for it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I just wouldn't replace that with water. So what I see sometimes is like the client will come in, they have their Celsius. I'm like, well, okay, great. Where's your water bottle? Like, I still want you to stay hydrated while you lift. I think a lot of people are losing fluid when they lift and they don't really realize it, how important that is. So just keep that in mind.
Good point. I mean, you lose fluid when you exhale.
Right.
When you start breathing heavier, i.e. when you're working out, either cardio or weights, you start huffing and puffing, you're losing even more water. Even if you're not sweating, you're still losing that water. And I'm going to go back to Tina. All I drink is water, Tina. This is a supplement. Other than supplements, and that's it. Supplements and water is all I drink. And when you do that, a gallon is super easy to get in.
Oh, absolutely.
It's I'm over a gallon every single day, and I don't even try because I don't drink anything but water and supplements.
Yep, pretty much.
A tea here and there, but that's rare.
Yeah, some other things to look out for with your supplements. If you can, look for that third-party tested stamp of approval on it. You want to make sure whatever supplement you're taking is actually the supplement that you're taking, that it's not composed of something else. I think we got into that last week when we were talking about best muscle building supplements. But you want to make sure whatever it is that you're taking, testing's been tested by an independent organization. So whether that's the NSF, USP, or even some kind of consumer laboratory, you definitely want to look for that and make sure that it's free from any kind of harmful contaminants. Yeah.
I mean, supplements are supplements, and I would definitely go with a reputable brand, and the third-party tested if you can.
Yeah, so Angel has a question. Do you think there's a downside to taking Fat Burner's weight loss supplement?
Man, we're getting some good questions today, baby.
I mean, so Angel, James kind of said it earlier, like everything has side effects, right? Like, so whether it's, and it's very personalized. So some of these things might cause GI problems. They might cause cardiovascular, or if you have underlying issues that maybe you don't even know about cardiovascular wise, it could bring that out and be negative for you. So
sleeping issues,
digestion issues, like bathroom issues.
The big one, Angel, for me is once you start them, you can't really stop them. Once you stop them, then your metabolism goes back to what it was. You really got to put the fork down at that point, or you're going to gain the weight back that you just lost. If you're peaking, if you're doing a contest and you're peaking, fantastic. After you peak, you stop taking them.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully you're cycling on and off of whatever you're taking. Like, they're not designed to take them indefinitely. Like, most of the time, well, some of them, depending on what they are, will tell you how long, like how many weeks you can take it for, and then it wants you to stop. So like this Thermo Drive, for instance, says basically you take it for 5 days and then 2 days off, and you keep in that pattern, and that stops it from being all those negative side effects from kicking in, and from you getting a tolerance to it.
So you don't have to keep taking more and more and more. That's also a negative side effect. If you don't come off of it, you have to take more and more and more to get the same effect. Just like any other drug, the more you do it, the more you have to do it.
Which will not be good for your organs if you have to keep taking more and more and more.
And again, sleep, bathroom, jitters, sweats, all that.
So, yeah, that's a great point, Angel. I think a lot of it goes back to native grit and what he said earlier in the
put the fork down.
So before you're loading up on all of these things, taking like 6 things a day, really take a deep look at, is your nutrition in check? Does it support the goal of fat loss? And if it doesn't, then you need to take a harder look.
Yeah. What I recommend for most clients is to diet first. Once you hit a plateau, all right, now let's introduce the fat burner.
Right.
After you plateaued from putting the fork down, then you go ahead and add the fat burner.
And another thing, like I probably should have said this up front, is just that when we're talking fat loss, that doesn't mean no fat diet.
No.
Yeah, we're talking about, I want to burn off the stored fat in the body is what we're talking about. So it does not necessarily mean you have to have a zero fat or low fat diet.
You shouldn't have a zero fat diet.
Yeah, actually that will swallow you.
Yeah, you need the healthy fats.
In order to keep your metabolism running strong, good thyroid function, you definitely need fat in your diet. Somewhere probably 20 to 30% of your diet actually should be grams of fat.
Yep.
So keep that in mind.
Big T. Any difference between a powder fat burner and a pill fat burner? Does one get to your bloodstream quicker? Great question.
That's a good question. I don't know that I know the answer. I personally like doing powder because for me, it's like an appetite suppressant thing too. Like a full belly of water versus taking a pill is helpful for me.
So in general, the powders will hit you quicker. The pill, you got to swallow it, digest it, and get it to work. The powders are water form, so they digest quicker and they hit you
quicker. Yeah.
In general.
Great question, though, Big T.
Yeah, great question.
What else? You want to make sure you're buying from a reputable brand or seller. So know, like, hey, I know this guy at the gym that's got this thing.
Goodness.
You definitely don't want that. Like, avoid any type of scams and low quality products.
Don't get scammed, Joe.
Y'all, speaking of scams, we were out in West Virginia at our place and we get this call and it's totally a scam, but we did not realize it at the time. And it was very stressful. But
we beat them. We didn't get scammed thanks to Camille. We didn't get scammed, but it was close. It was very stressful.
Yeah. So if you've ever been scammed, it's not fun. But in any case, what else?
I think we hit it all. To me, the Thermogenesis hits, man. It hits like crazy. If you want a fat burner, get the Thermogenesis. The CLA and the
L-carnitine.
They're going to help a little bit, but like I said at the beginning, you're going to find green tea extract and caffeine in every single one of them because they work. Yeah. That's going to be your best bet for a fat burner.
Yeah. So top recommended is start with caffeine and green tea. If you want more of that kind of fat loss, then go for the L-carnitine, CLA, and make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet, because that all helps aid building that lean muscle mass and reducing the body fat levels.
Absolutely.
But in terms of supplements, like I said, our favorite every day is this Piping Hot Caffeine. We are Amazon affiliates, so there's a link that will be in the description for you if you want to get this. And then our other favorite here is the Evil Engine Shreds. We'll also toss up a link for that. We are not represented by First Form, so I'm not going to send you guys a link for that, but you can go to their website and look up Thermodrive or Goddess if you're interested in these. I've used these personally for about a year. I haven't taken them because I've been bulking, but last year when I was cutting down, I did take them for a while, and I really feel like they do work. So great supplement, great brand. All right, Angel says, I appreciate all the information you guys share with us on supplements and exercise, and you're very welcome, Angel.
Yes, very happy to help. Happy to help. I'm going to mention water too. We're recapping here a little bit. If you're getting in a gallon of water, gallon plus water, that's enough to help you get rid of the waste, get rid of the fat. It's going to speed up the fat loss. It's going to make you feel full, and you can't beat water. It's free. Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like an opportune time to be talking about fat loss, because real soon here, Thanksgiving will be over, Christmas will be over, and the gym frenzy, New Year, New Me is going to start. So
it's coming, y'all.
Hey, we just got through Thanksgiving, so go ahead and get some of those Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals on some of these things. Have those pumps ready to be primed come the new year.
Put the fork down first. Give it a go. Then once you get stuck, add the fat burner.
But yeah, we're one big community here. So definitely, if you're struggling with anything, have questions on anything, you can hit us in our community section. Drop us a comment on any of our videos. It doesn't even have to be related to that video. We will answer whatever that comment is. And then you can also interact with James and I on our Instagram page. So we are posting throughout the week there, lots of different topics and things there. So,
and if you want to answer right away, catch us live.
Yeah, every Sunday, 12 Eastern, y'all. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in today. We really do appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.